This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com. Which is why when you're like, cheese puffs, I'm like, yeah. And there he is on the left, Austin Aries.
Yeah.
Man, check out how that banana got over. He's got a banana in his pocket right there. He's not just happy to see you. That
right.
actually is a banana in his pocket.
Sure. I think, does Austin live in the Atlanta area?
No, he lives in Las Vegas.
Okay, I see Austin.
He has been hanging out more recently in the Atlanta area, spending a lot of time with Diamond Dallas Page.
Right, exactly. That's why I asked that, because he and I were talking. I saw him at DDPY the other day, and I'm thinking, man, he must live around here.
Well, he's been spending some time with DDP because, DDP has revitalized himself, and one of the things he's doing now is he's trying to perfect DDPY Jacked, I believe. So it's a series of bands. So they're like prototypes where you could not only do yoga, but do real resistance training without getting weights or anything like this. You just pack these bands in your bag or carry on or whatever, and you can do it, in your basement, at the office, wherever you want.
Right.
I think that's the idea. And he probably brought in Austin Aries, who is very much a plant-based guy for a long, long time.
Right.
And a hell of an athlete.
Yeah, and a hell of a guy, too.
He's got, and again, I treat people how they treat me. He could not have been cooler to me.
Yeah, he's cool.
Really one of the nicest guys I've met in wrestling.
Yeah.
But man, that motherfucker has heat. And I don't know why, but like him and Jim, and look at this look. Is Gentleman Jack Gallagher one of the all-time great looks and gimmicks in wrestling or what?
It's a gimmick. It looks like somebody just walked right out of the 20s.
He's got a Casio mustache.
Yeah.
And he's as pale as a sheet of paper.
Right.
The multicolored trunks, very old school, and the old school umbrella. Look at my shirt. No, missed it.
And pretty much of a low-key big hog.
Did he? I wasn't doing any hog.
Oh, here's
watching.
our man, buddy.
Now this is the match we're about to see. It's about to be Neville versus Gentleman Jack Gallagher.
I'm telling you right now, if we ever made a bigger score, I don't know, than getting Neville, who is now packed with us.
That's course.
Right. He has become the promos he's been doing and the look and just...
By the way, the match we're about to see, Gentleman Jack Gallagher and Neville, wins the best match reader poll, and it's not even close.
Doesn't surprise me. Pac, Neville, whatever, is one of the best performers in the business.
They're going to get plenty of time, too. 12 minutes, 6 seconds. Meltzer gave it 3.5 stars.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Really good stuff.
Yeah. And this is a 205 title, right, or something like that. The cruiserweight.
This is for the cruiserweight championship.
That's on 205.
And they're trying to do everything they can to make this look and feel differently. So notice they've got a different ring canvas. Once upon a time they would change the color of the ropes, the side skirts, just everything. They wanted this to look like a different show because they're trying to brand 205 Live. Of course, see the ropes are different.
Yeah.
I mean, kudos to the commitment for WWE to try to make this look and feel different.
Sure.
Special. Unique. By the way, when you're doing announcing 700 yards from the ring,
right,
your country is not a priority.
Apparently not. And apparently the people in Brazil and Portugal don't count.
Neither do the Russians.
Neither do the Russians. Okay.
I would,
But they're happy to be here.
If you could have given me eight guesses what country they were doing commentary for, I would not have guessed Russia.
Now this is Chinese.
Ming is on the left.
Ming is on the left.
I think I could take that Ming.
Ming and Ding is on the right.
I'm telling you, if the real Ming, I ain't fucking with. That Ming, I think I could take. And how about Funaki on the right?
Japanese. Oh, yeah.
Will you stop?
Neville. AEW.
I don't think they say that.
They may have. You never know.
You think they freestyled
I can't speak
AEW
Japanese.
in 2017?
Did I tell you, by the way?
By the way, does that look like Teddy Long's kid or what?
It really does.
Old Peanut Head 2.0.
Have I told you my Riho story?
Riho. No.
I love Riho.
No, everybody does.
That's right, and that's why I love her.
She's over.
She's over. When she comes out, she smiles and she holds her arms out. She's so much a delight to watch perform. She really is. So I got on Google Translate.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I typed in, "You are a tremendous wrestler." And I learned how to say that in Japanese and went up to her and said it. And she was so thankful that I took my time to say that.
Well, that was very nice of you.
That was, I meant it. I mean, God, I'll just love her.
You know, if you would learn how to speak dog hair and could say that to Lois, I think you guys may have a real shot.
Speak dog hair.
Yeah, it goes like this.
No, it goes.
Nancy Pelosi. Fake news. Facebook. Wine.
Liquor.
Peach. Alcohol.
We got it down. We got our own language.
Should we call her right now and just try to sweet talk her?
No, when I get back home, I want to have a nice house.
Well, you're going to have to go to a friend's house. I don't know if you saw, but recently...
Look at that. I mean...
Look at this. I love that.
I do too, but he is so fucking white.
Dude, this is so great. How do you not love Gentleman Jack Gallagher? I even like the old school where he's got the boots, but he's got the socks up over, and the socks have the stripes. It's a classic old school look. I just imagine he's driving like a 1962 Jaguar. He's got a London fog jacket, overcoat.
He pretty much has low-key big hog as well, man.
Why do you keep hog watching? My God.
It's the stripes. It's that green stripe down the middle of the tights that accentuates the hog. See? That yellow stripe or whatever. Hog watching.
Got you. Hog watching, got you.
It's time for Hog Watching with Tony.
Oh, God, I hope that's not an AEW YouTube show. I think Orange Cassidy's got a big one. Take a look. Look at the way it moves in his jeans here. Back and to the left. Back and to the left. Back. That's a good sized hog right there. I don't care who you are. That hog is main event anywhere in the country. Anywhere in the world.
Ooh.
I give that hog 4 3/4.
Let's get back to this cruiserweight match. I want to give Neville his due here, man, because he's tremendous.
And so is Gentleman Jack Gallagher.
Oh, yes. Again, to have a great match, have a 3+ star match, you got to have 2 good competitors. You have to have 2, not
By the
one,
way,
2.
in real life, I know we're probably betraying confidences.
Oh, God.
Because this Pac character, he's a real fuck. He's a real asshole. He's a brooding, menacing, just jerk of a human.
Well.
But the real guy behind the scenes is the fucking nicest.
He is the best.
Meekest, mildest.
Yes.
Like, wait a minute.
Yes.
You're that guy?
Yeah, I know.
How is this real?
And when you talk to him, you just kind of want to hang out with him because it's such a joy being around him, isn't it?
Well, it is almost Clark Kent. You know how Clark Kent wore glasses?
Right.
And he's this nerdy whatever.
Yeah.
And then he phone booth, boom, Superman.
Right.
That's fucking Pac.
Oh, I know.
Where you're like, wait a minute.
Hang
on. You're
the bastard?
No.
Yeah.
And then you see his work, and I'll tell you, he ultimately left WWE just based on frustration, where he felt like he was much better than the push he was being allocated.
Right.
I mean, I think he believes he's one of the best wrestlers in the world, and I think everyone in their profession, their goal should be that I'm one of the very best in the world.
Right.
And he sees a guy like AJ Styles come in and effectively captivate the company in a way that very few have. I mean, quickly becoming champion and getting top spots. And he thinks, I've never had this conversation, but he has to think, why not me?
Yeah.
I'm just as good of a performer.
Right.
I can do all the stuff. What can he do that I can't do?
Right.
And it's just sometimes, that whole audience on one thing. And now, he's positioned immediately in AEW with top guys, of course, starting with Hangman Page. And then we know the feud he's had with Kenny Omega. And those are 2 top guys. So he probably feels much more satisfied creatively being positioned near the top of the card as opposed to for lack of a better word, filler, because that's what this was positioned as. Like, hey, we don't want you to think this is less than because these are smaller guys, so we're going to try to dress it up to make it feel special. Look, we've got different turnbuckles. Look, we've got different ropes. Look, we've got a different canvas. Look, we've got different lights. But how about just fucking ring the bell and let him do what he does?
Yes.
Because when you poll the readers of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, some of the smartest wrestling fans around, they all pretty much unanimously said this is the best match on the card. And let me tell you, when it came to promoting the pay-per-view, what was not promoted near the top was Neville and Gentleman Jack Gallagher. It was just a match on the card, one of many. You know, they're pushing Roman Reigns, and they're pushing Braun Strowman, and they're pushing Goldberg, and they're pushing Kevin Owens. But this match is the one that steals the show.
Yeah. Man, good stuff.
And it makes you wonder, like, why aren't they doing more with Gentleman Jack Gallagher?
Because Vince doesn't like smaller guys. Isn't that always been the story?
My point is, he's shown you that he has personality and that he can stand out and that he's different. And in a sea of so many wrestlers, because that's what we're talking about, they have the biggest roster they've ever had. You need to stand out. Goodness gracious, Gentleman Jack Gallagher stands out. It's different.
Yes, it is.
And I love it.
Oh, and I agree.
And by the way, you could, and again, I hate that my brain works like this sometimes, but as a business person, you can monetize the shit out of this because it's so different.
Right.
You could have all kinds of different merch and old school shit. And
right. That's why Orange Cassidy's merch does so well.
Absolutely. And what's great about Orange Cassidy, and I think that's been misunderstood by a lot of fans who think, oh, this isn't wrestling. They think it's disrespectful or whatever. If you really pay attention, he's not trying to convince the audience that those little baby kicks to the shin are devastating. He's using those little baby kicks to the shin as a taunt to piss the talent off.
Right.
And so it's no different than if he was poking them in the chest, to make an old school analogy, because back in the 70s or 80s,
that's what they used to do.
If you wanted to annoy, they would just poke them in the chest, like, what are you going to do about it?
Right.
Well, that's Orange Cassidy's way of doing that. And then when they get good and pissed off and they slap the piss out of him, okay, now we're wrestling.
Right.
And because the thing is, like, years before he was this persona, man, he could go.
Yes.
And he showed everybody he could.
That's right.
And he still can, by the way.
That's right.
I'm just saying he had to find a way to stand out.
Right.
And make himself different. And check out the bruising on Jack Gallagher's left leg. Pac has taken him to the woodshed here today. By the way, that is one of the more underrated referees in the company. A nice little roll up there. Is he bleeding from his elbow? Yes, he is.
Who, Gallagher?
Jack Gallagher's left elbow is bleeding. You can see it starting to spatter on the mat. We've got some blood because this canvas is out just for this. Oh, yeah, there you go. There's the left elbow.
Mm-hmm. Oh, look at Pac.
If this is going to be the finish, this is going to be quite a spectacular move.
Fuck.
From the second rope. Are you kidding?
Fuck, man.
And that's not it.
Whoa. You kick out of that?
How about that suplex on his head? And another one with the release.
Oh, fuck.
Took it as good as he could.
Yep.
Man, he is just battered, bruised. By the way, Pac looks like a Cirque du Soleil gymnast.
Mm-hmm.
His entire shape. I mean, he looks like a CrossFit.
Jesus. He looks like Jesus who's had like a change of attitude.
I'm just saying his entire body, he looks like one giant muscle that he can direct anywhere he needs to. And you just wonder, when you were talking about size, hypothetically, let's just pretend for a minute that Neville is a foot taller.
Mm-hmm.
He's main eventing every WWE pay-per-view, is he not?
Yes, he is. Or at least he should have been a foot taller.
I mean, because he is everything that Vince would look for.
Sure.
But because he's a little less tall, he's not. It's just ridiculous.
Is Gentleman Jack still with the WWE?
Yes, he is.
Do they still have 205 Live?
Yes, they do.
I love good crowd reaction shots, and I think we do a great job with it on Dynamite, and that was a great job there.
How about the purple lights throughout the crowd?
Right. I love crowd reaction when the crowd doesn't realize the camera's on it. Fans starting to get into this thing too, aren't they? A little bit.
You can watch 205 Live on Friday nights immediately following SmackDown.
Okay, I got it.
And the reason this was such a priority here is 205 Live started in November of 2016. This is February of 2017 what we're watching.
Right. They want to give it the rub.
Yeah. I mean, look at the lighting truss above. It's all purple as well. Major investment.
There's your WrestleMania logo and all of that. I do like the ring post too.
The digital.
Yep. I have to admit.
Man, they've done such a great job with all the LEDs around the ring and the giant set, making everything sort of look more modern. Oh, you see the leg slap. Looks like he knocked him out with the headbutt.
Is he bruised on the right trap over there as well, or is that just blood on Gentleman Jack?
It would not surprise me. He's beat to shit. He's going to grab him by the goatee. How about that?
That's cool.
We saw it with Rusev. See it again here.
See that mark on his shoulder there? It's
oh my gosh.
Holy shit.
Human pinball. This has got to be the finish. Here we go.
Could do it again.
Oh, man. How impressive is that? Dusty Rhodes would have called that a whirlybird. 1, 2, 3. That gets her done. Pac wins. Crowd's into it. Match of the night, according to the readers of the Wrestling Observer. Hard to argue.
Hard to argue is right, man.
Stole the show.
Next time I see him, I'm going to have to tell him, man, Pac. Some great shit.
Yeah, it was.
I always, and
You a lie.
No, I'm not a lie. I always let guys know who are working for us when I've seen one of their past matches.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.